Drawing Moo Deng is easier than you think, and I'm about to show you exactly how you can do it. Now you can follow along this video with whatever drawing tools you want. I'm working in Procreate here. And I'm going to start personally with a dark brown gray for the outlines. The exact X codes is 342B26. But here, just pick whatever color you want to use for your outlines. And we're going to start with a super simple big oval like this one. It doesn't need to be perfect, but that's going to be our base for the body. Then you can go ahead and add a slightly smaller circle, and it doesn't need to be perfect either. It's going to be our base for the head. Then we're going to draw the legs, so you can start the first front leg where the head intersects with the body, and the front of the leg should be a straight line, and then the back is going to be this big curve. Then super easy, you just repeat this 3 times for the other 3 legs. Great, now we're going to move on to the face. So go ahead and draw this super round W, which is going to be the top of the mouth. And then connect it with your head circle. Then go ahead and draw this fish hook type shape for the bottom of the mouth. And this kind of indented rectangle for the inside of the mouth itself. If you want, you can also add a simple line like this to add a mouth corner, making it look more smiley, and this little line here to add more dimension to the face. Now, Moo Deng is obviously very chunky, so we're going to add some simple rolls on the face and the neck. I'm going to go with these 2 and then the actual neckline, so nothing more complicated than this. We're also going to add a simple line above the mouth for the nose and 2 nostrils that are just these little C shapes. Then we're going to draw 1 big circle for the eye right above the corner of the mouth. And on the very edge of the face, we're going to draw this semicircle for the other eye that we can just barely see. We're also going to add the ear, which is going to be right where the face and the body overlap. We are going to extend this front leg onto the body and change the shape of the belly, so just making it a little bit shorter like this. Now we have a pretty good structure, we're just going to clean it up a little bit, so go ahead and pick any kind of eraser you have available to you. And we are going to start by erasing this line right here on the back leg, which was the original oval. Also going to erase the original oval when it overlaps with the front leg right here. And when it overlaps with pretty much everything in the head. We're also going to use that as an opportunity to clean this top line we have here between the head and the back, if just like me, yours was a bit messy. Then we're going to erase part of the head circle, starting with the section around the neck roll, so we don't want it to go up to the ear, we don't want it to be a little bit shorter. And then all the section here, which overlaps with the mouth, we're going to erase that basic circle we had. So on the chin, in the mouth, and then on the nose area. Great, so this looks way better. Now we have a few little things to tweak before moving on to the colors. So go back on your paintbrush or pick up your pencil. And we're going to draw the tongue, which is going to be this rounded M shape. Then we're going to add this tiny little corner in the bottom side of the eye, and we're going to fill in the entire eye shape with our black, or our outline color at least. Doing the same thing on the other eye. And then grabbing our eraser to add some highlights. So I'm going to add 1 big one on the top of each eye like this, and then a smaller one on the bottom. Then going back with our paintbrush or our pencil, we can add a few details around the eyes, so these little curves on the bottom and above. We can also refine the ear. I'm going to add this super soft S-curve. We're also going to refine the front of the body because right now it looks a little bit crazy. So we're going to add this, again, big S-curve. So it's in line with the belly. And we're going to need to just erase where the leg was connecting with the head initially. Then the last thing we're going to do, it's optional, we might refine the legs a little bit. So I'm just going to add this little toe bump in the front. Doing that on all 4 legs. And then erasing the overlap, or the original line, I guess, more than the overlap. And there we go, we have our drawing of Moo Deng. Now feel free to pause the video here if you want to work on your outlines a little bit more. Otherwise, let's move on to simple colors. Now here, just to keep our file organized, if you are working like me in a digital art software, go ahead and make sure you rename the layer on which you have your outlines to, well, outlines. Then go ahead and create a new layer for your colors and put it under your outlines. And of course, rename it to colors. So we're going to pick the main color for the whole hippo. So this kind of brownish gray. I'm going to go with 7C716C, which for some reason my Procreate did not like my handwriting here, so it took me a while, but we got there in the end. In here, you can obviously use any kind of color dropping or color filling tool you have in your software. I want to have some of the texture within my brush, so I'm going to manually fill in my color. I didn't mention the brushes earlier in the video because I really don't think they matter for this, but if you want to learn more about the tools I am personally using in this illustration, I'll write everything in the video description, so make sure you check that out. You will find literally every single tool I've used, which is just one single brush pretty much, but still, you'll find that information in there. Then once you have the entire body grayed out, we are going to fill in the mouth. So go ahead and color pick the color you use for the outlines. I don't know why I didn't do it when I was doing the outlines, but we're going to use that exact same color to fill in the top of the mouth. Then we're going to move on to the nice dusty pink for Moo Deng's bottom of the face. I'm going to use D9A, DA4. But again, you could go with something different, of course. We're just going to gently brush this dusty pink all over the bottom of the head, so around the mouth, and almost reaching the last roll of fat that we have around the neck. We might add a tiny little bit on the belly as well, just to make it pop a little bit more. And from there, we are going to draw the tongue. So we're going to pick just a slightly darker pink. I'm going to go with F7A997. And we're just going to fill in the tongue. And from there, we're going to pick pure white, which is just 6 Fs. And we're going to fill in the highlights and the eyes, making sure we do both eyes. And then we're going to add the background. So the background can be really whatever you want. I'm going to go with this super bright teal because it's going to be a nice contrast with Moo Deng itself. And the code is 9BCDC6. And that was it for the basic color. Feel free to pause the video if you need a little bit more time. Otherwise, we're going to add some super simple shadows and highlights to make our little Moo Deng shine and glisten. So we're going to start with some very simple shadows. I'm going to pick a darker gray brown. So I'm going to go with 4C413D. But again, anything slightly darker than your base hippo color is totally fine right here. And we're going to draw on the same layer as the colors because we're going to keep those shadows really simple. I'm going to start with a very small one under the nose flap, above the mouth, I guess. Then I'm going to add a little one right here in the ear. We can add one under the head so that the neck is a little tiny bit more defined. Then we're going to go under this skin fold on the front leg. And we're going to color almost, or shade, I should say, almost the entire back front leg, if that makes sense, so the one that is behind. We're just going to leave a little bit of light in this crescent moon shape in the front. Then we're going to add a big triangle right behind the front leg to really separate it from the body. And we're also going to separate the ear from the body by adding a shadow behind it. Now we're going to add some big, slightly curvy triangles, like hit this on the top for extra fat rolls. So one shorter one near the head and then a longer one a little bit further down the back. We're going to fully shade this back leg right here. And then we're going to add this funky shape on the back leg closer to us. So it mimics one of the front leg, but there's also this U shape on the thigh. So something like this. We might make the belly one a little bit bigger, just ever so slightly. And maybe add a tiny shadow right here on this foot that otherwise was fully lit up. Now we're also going to add a bit of a shadow on the tongue, but for that we need to change the color. I'm going to use D87 C67. Otherwise, anything slightly darker than your tongue color is going to work. And we're going to draw this C shape right here on the left side of the tongue. And that's it for the shadows. Now we're just going to add some simple soft lights. So we're going to change our color to AFA09A, or anything slightly lighter than your base hippo color. And we're going to draw a huge wobbly triangular shape on the back and the belly of the hippo. We're going to add another big highlight between the two fat rolls on the neck. One on the top of the shoulder, I guess, and then a couple on the front legs. We're also going to fully color in the top section of the ear above the S shape. And we're going to create a big soft light on the front of the face, so going almost to the bottom of the nose flap. I don't know how that would be called. I guess the mouth area. And then almost up to the top of the head. Then if you want, you can also go ahead and follow the outline on the back with a very sharp light. Do the same thing on the fat roll, at least the longer one. Follow the outline on the top of the head. And the legs as well. It's just going to help Moo Deng pop a little bit more from the background. Then from there, we're going to turn the shiny on. So go ahead and either pick pure white or, like me, FFEDE7, which is a super bright dusty pink. And we're going to add a few messy dots within the otherwise softer shadows. I'm going to go with 3 like this on the back, a couple on the fat roll, a small one on the ear, and a small one below the eye and right above on that little line that we have. We're going to make sure that nose is super shiny, so we're going to draw one line and one little dot. We're going to make that tongue shiny as well, so I'm just drawing a few dots right here, kind of in the middle. And we're going to make the side of the mouth shiny as well, so just following the outline. But our Moo Deng is definitely not sassy enough right now, so we're going to add 3 lines like this outside of the mouth to show that there's some sort of noise coming out of there. And the last thing we're going to do is add a ground shadow, which is going to be the color 669F98, or anything darker than your background. And you're just going to brush under Moo Deng like this. And there you go. I really hope you enjoyed this short and sweet tutorial on how to draw a cute pygmy hippo. I would absolutely love to see your little Moo Deng, so make sure to share your results with me on Instagram or Facebook. And if you want to learn to draw more cute animals just like this one, make sure to check out this playlist right here because I have a bunch more tutorials for you. But before you leave, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of the new tutorials. Then click on the link right here and I'll meet you there.